Councilman Woodford,
Present.
Mayor Swallows,
Here.
Vice Mayor Epps, Councilman Albright.
Here.
4 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Would everyone please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right. Consider approval of agenda as presented. Do we have any additions, changes to the agenda?
No changes.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Everybody vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Item 2, consider approval of minutes. Council meeting held on August the 2nd, 2012. Have a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
On a new business, item 3, consider appointments to the Cookeville Tree Board. Looks like Cookeville Tree Board has 3 appointed seats now open. Mike Witt, who is currently serving as chairman, would like to continue with a second term. And at this time, the Tree Board has not reviewed potential candidates to meet the criteria necessary to fill the other positions. But for now, we would like to consider recommending Mike Witt as for a second term on the Tree Board. Bring it to you in form of a motion.
Second.
Any discussion, questions, comments from the council?
Just glad he's wanting to do it again.
Me too. All right, I'll vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Item 4, consider appointments to the Architectural Design Review Board. Sponsors Mr. James Mills.
Mayor and council members, the terms of the 3 appointed members of the Architectural Design Review Board have expired. The board consists of 5 members, 2 of which are Planning Commission members, and their terms run concurrently with their terms on the Planning Commission. The 3 other members who were originally appointed in 2009 serve 3-year terms. The Planning Department recommends for the reappointment of Peter Metz, filling the architect position, Kay Starkweather, filling an at-large position for an additional 3-year terms. Miss Ellie Linhart, who filled the other position, has moved and can no longer serve. And the Planning Department would recommend for the appointment of Adam Ryan to fill Ms. Linhart's slot, and it would be a 3-year term.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments from the council?
We always appreciate people wanting to serve and being willing to serve.
Any questions, comments from the audience? Seeing none, I'll vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Item 5, consider reappointments to the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. Sponsors Miss Kathy McLean.
Thank you. Mayor and council, we have 2 terms expiring. That's Ray Smith and Betty Bissell. And they have agreed to serve another term, and I recommend reappointing them for another 4-year term.
Thank you, Ms. McLean. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments, council?
Glad they're wanting to go up again.
Yeah. Always do appreciate when people serve their community. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, I'll vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
All right, item 7, consider awarding bid for tractor with rotary side mower.
Is it 6?
That's it.
Oh.
Oh, so yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. Item 6, consider awarding annual bid for vehicle servicing all departments. Sponsor is Miss Kathy McLean. Sorry, Miss McLean.
Thank you. Mayor and council, we received 3 bids. This is an annual bid for all departments. It's our oil change. The low bidder is Clean Care Auto Care for $19.25, and I recommend approval.
All right, thank you, Miss McLean. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All right, seeing none, I'll vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Okay, now item 7. Consider awarding bid for tractor with rotary side mower. Sponsor is Mr. Greg Brown with Public Works Department.
Mayor and council, we recently opened bids for a tractor with side mower. The bidder, I recommend the lowest bidder meeting the specs at Tri-Green Equipment, $47,153.90.
Thank you, Mr.
Request for
Brown.
approval.
Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments from the council?
How soon will they be able to deliver this tractor?
I think it's 3 months, I think is what it is.
It's 3 months out?
Yeah. It's the mower part is what's the hard, takes a while to get.
Okay.
Mr. Brown, do you care to, of course, the Tri-Green equipment is what you recommended, which is a little bit more expensive than the CMI equipment. Do you care to explain to everybody why we went that way?
The day after, the Tri-Green and CMI bid the same tractor, but the day after we opened the bids, CMI called and said they could not get that tractor that they bid. There's some supply problem, and Tri-Green had anticipation of this bid, and they had already ordered it before their cutoff date, and if they didn't get the bid, they were just going to sell it on their lot. But evidently, CMI could not supply what they bid, so that's why we went with Tri-Green.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Just wanted to point that out so everybody would know. Any other questions or comments?
Okay.
All right, seeing none, I'll vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you. On to item 8, consider approval of architectural contract for the renovation of the property building located at 1115 East Spring Street for a new Public Works Department facility. Sponsor is Mr. Greg Brown.
Mayor and council, we recently solicited a request for qualifications for an architectural firm to design the old Heritage Ford building. We assembled a committee that evaluated all the submittals, and Richard Rinks and Associates came out on top. We've negotiated a contract. It's a 9.1% of the construction cost, and they've also got an hourly rate for any extra work we ask them to do. I would request your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments from the council?
When will they be able to start on this?
We'll probably sign the contract tomorrow, so they'll start right away. The first thing they'll have to do is measure and get the floor plan.
Right.
And then they'll start with the design after that.
Good.
As far as when the design, are we talking about potential construction to begin this calendar year, like in November, December, or are we talking about the first of next year?
It just depends on what we get into. I would hope maybe toward the end of the year.
Okay.
Yes. Some of it we probably could do by then, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes.
The 9.1%, is that kind of industry standard?
Yes, it's based on what the estimated cost of construction would be. The higher the cost, the lower the percentage.
Okay.
Do you have a completion date or just an estimate as far as about how long it might take from start to finish?
No, it really depends on what we run into and what we're going to have to construct there. I don't know if there's some things we'll have to replace or it maybe quick. But hopefully we're in there by next summer.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, some of it's going to depend on us, too.
Right.
Because they'll be meeting with us a lot about just exactly what do you want.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really sure at this point, but.
All right, any more questions? All right, seeing none, I'll vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9, consider approval of change order for the 7th Street Improvement Project. Sponsor is Mr. Greg Brown.
Mayor and council, the west section of the 7th Street project was bid out. That construction was the bidder, or the low bidder, and the one that constructed it. We've got their final pay request. There were several items on that's the bid form, and out on the right side I showed how much under or below what they bid was. It was a unit price bid, so whatever materials they used is what they were paid for. The main item that we were over was the undercut. We ran into a lot of material out there that had to be taken out before we could build a road on it. The rest of them are up or down. You'll see that amount is nearly $51,000. The change order amount is $51,894.53. We did have an inspector on site the whole time the job was going on, and I was out there quite a bit, so we have verified all these numbers. I would recommend your approval on this.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions from the council?
I know that it sure looks good. It's a nice street.
Yes, it is.
How long has it been open now? A week?
No, longer than that.
2 weeks?
Maybe. It was open, I think, August 2nd. I
Yeah,
think it's the day we opened it. Or August 1st one of those, I can't remember now which day it was.
Right.
Okay.
Looks good.
Does look good. All right. Any more questions, comments? Seeing none, all vote.
4 yes votes, motion
All right,
carries.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Item 10, consider authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to the engineering contract for flow monitoring. At least it's not blowing smoke this time. Sponsors, Mr. Ronnie Kelly.
Wait, say that when I get through. On April 19th of this year, the council authorized our department to enter into an engineering contract with Gresham Smith and Partners. This contract was structured to provide consulting engineering services necessary to develop a hydraulic sewer model for our department. Models be used to assist us in formation of capital projects in the future. As new areas of Cookeville are developed and a sanitary sewer system is expanded, the model will allow us to identify bottlenecks in the system and that could contribute to sewer overflows if we overload sections of the system. The fee was broken down as follows. The original cost was $114,000. The engineering cost, the total cost was $114,408. Engineering portion, the flow monitoring fee was $43,720, and that's the portion we want to amend. We're proposing to amend the flow monitoring to add 5 additional months at a total cost of $27,000. The original contract conducted flow monitoring during the months of May, June, and July. As you're aware, it did not rain during the months of May and June. This lack of rainfall significantly dropped the groundwater level. This drop in the groundwater level table negatively influenced the data that we were able to collect. We believe that by extending the flow monitor an additional 5 months, we will be able to see the groundwater return to a more normal level, and this will allow us to measure the groundwater's influence on the flow in the collection system and give us more accurate data for the model. We've got 8 different flow meters and rain gauges set up across the city. One of them is I'm going to talk to you about is this number 6. It measures one of the branches that goes up into the middle of town and catches part of Tennessee Tech and Dixie Avenue and up through the park. But what we're trying to do is the sewer lines here, that groundwater table gets up above it and it allows water to get in. And when the groundwater table gets below that, that water's not able to get in, so we're not able to see what's that influence of the groundwater table on our flow data. And this is sort of gives you an idea of some flows at our wastewater plant for 2011's in blue during the winter months. And then you can sort of see these are rain type flows, but the groundwater table stays up, and as you get to August, it starts dropping down, and you can see that influence at the wastewater treatment plant. And what we saw this year, that groundwater influence, we think, dropped down in April and May, then stayed low. It's starting to gradually come back up. It'll come back up as we get more rains. But we need to see that amount of flow in those different branches to see what we've got going on. Here's one of the flow monitor I was showing you. This is from June through, I think, August 4th. You can see this is just flows through the pipe on a hydrograph, and then you may have a rain event, and the flow may run from 500,000 gallons a day up to 3 million gallons a day through that one pipe section. So it's collecting a pretty good area. But we're not seeing that the groundwater influence here, which with groundwater influence, this base flow may be during certain parts of the year may be up closer to 1 million gallons a day, which will then make these spikes go up during those times, and we need to see where those spikes are going to be during that groundwater flow, which may show us that your overcapacity of the pipe won't carry it and would have some problems. So that's what we're trying to do, and we'd recommend your approval.
Mr. Kelly, do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments from council? Anything from the audience? No? Seeing none, all vote.
4 yes votes, motion
Thank you.
carries.
Mr. Kelly. All right, this is the part of our meeting where we like to open the floor. Does anyone like to come forward to discuss, talk about anything? So the floor is open if anybody wants to come forward. Seeing the crowd, I'm assuming no one will.
I've got a few comments.
Yes, sir.
I was reading the paper before I came over here, and Power of Putnam has honored Lieutenant Mike Smith of the Cookeville Police Department. I want to give a big thank you for him. He's a valued member of the Cookeville Police Department, and he's making a difference in the battle against substance abuse in our community. And also like to say something about the streets over on Maple and Hudgens, the improvement that's been over there, Public Works and with TDOT, the work that's made that intersection a lot less stressful. I know for the parents that take their children over there, and I travel through that intersection quite often myself. And also tomorrow starts the football season for Cookeville High, and they're making a trip down to Brentwood, so hope them good luck and a safe game and journey back down there. So all out for them.
Actually, I think the freshman team has a game tonight here in town. I think they play Pope John Paul II, which I guess is where Coach Joslin went.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's tonight. Oh. Anything else? All right. This meeting's adjourned.